today will be my first unlimited, like proper unlimited video with voice to prepare for, well, not prepare since it's already here. Along with the unlimited Grand Prix, I thought I would just show off the deck that I've been playing in it. It's Loot Sword again, surprise surprise, who would have guessed, right? I know. If you're coming here from rotation, you might find this list is very strange looking. And that's because in unlimited, loot plays very differently from in rotation. It plays like it's a pure combo deck in unlimited. The goal is to loop Barbaros to abuse her PP recovery using Dramatic Retreat. If you don't know what it does, if you're coming from a rotation, this is what it does. It banishes an allied follower, put a copy of it that costs 0, and then you draw 2 cards. So you can play Barbaros, throw her back into the deck, and then you can play her for 0 cost to cheat out 3 PP. This deck usually aims to OTK on turn 6, it's not always successful. As for the tech cards in this deck, we have Glistering Angel for Handless and for Burial Rite. We have Dawn Splendor, which is mostly for Hozumi and some other storm using decks, but mostly Hozumi. And Planetary Fracture is there for Atomy. Yeah, there's only one Rogers and one Barbaros, and that's because you only want to draw 1 copy of it. The design of this deck is to reduce the amount of sword follows you have as much as possible to try, and you mainly attempt to draw all of them. And this is done so that Dramatic Retreat, after you put Barbaros back in the deck, you can actually use the tutors to draw her. And that's also why there's so many tutors for swordcraft followers in this deck. It's like almost entirely tutors and tech cards with a few combo pieces. The Fighter's Fortitude is honestly just here for hand management. There's no like deep reason for it. You can experiment with other things if you want, I guess. And anyway, that's it for the deck list, and let's jump into some games. So for the first game, we were going first against the Sword Mirror. Well, I call it a mirror, but we don't know what deck they're playing. The thing about Unlimited is that there's a lot of varying decks, so you never know what you're actually playing against. If it's loot, we are automatically heavily favored just by going first. And if it's like some kind of rally or control variant, it might be a bit more troublesome. For the mulligan, you just want to keep your sword followers, like 1 copy of each is fine, and then you want to keep your tutors and you want to keep Dramatic Retreat, and that will help you get to your combo. And your early game is, as usual, just get your loot cards played and try to find Rogers. And here we see how the Victorious Blader come out, so we know it's not loot, but we don't know what kind of deck they're playing yet until we see more defining features. So here I'm just trying to look for Rogers and not having any luck. I'm just trading my followers just to, you know, reduce some damage coming to my face. You don't really have to rush to poke their face in because you're an OTK deck for the most part. King's Welcome guarantees either Barbaros or Rogers, which is very valuable. And there I luckily managed to draw Rogers. I did mill the boots, but I guess that's fine. This hand is a bit like awkward to play with. So we see the Larala come out, so we know this is probably some kind of control variant. So against control variants, we need to watch out for Wise, and we need to watch out for Galder. And of course Victorious Blader, as we saw just now. So as usual, get your Rogers out and play. You only need 2 gunners, so it's fine to just play the 3rd one. You can use it to chip damage to face, or you can just use it to get your loot count. Because you need the loot count faster than you do in rotation in this deck. I have a lot of Dramatic Retreats in hand, so I'm just using 1 to draw more and to just throw the gunner in. The more 0 cost follows you have in your deck, the higher chance you have of getting an OTK on turn 6. And here comes the Sarah. I believe at this point, at this point I'm at 5 loots, which is not quite enough for me to finish them off, so I need to stall their game. So I just play the Glistering Angel, it will deny me Kyle invokes. I'll deny like Corpse Master as well, and then just trade off the Glistering Angel here. Here I do know that I have another gunner in my deck, so I can afford to spend this one. I can throw it back in the deck as well, it's fine. And then just throw away the Royal Summons there to make some hand space. I don't really need it for anything. And here the Wise comes down, which it stops any hope of getting an OTK for sure. So here I'm just gonna use Barbaros to clear it and then put Barbaros back in the deck. I feel like I have actually been able to win the OTK the game from here, but I'm not really sure. So I'm just gonna play it safe here. And here comes the Galder, which I was very worried about. We can't kill through Galder because the damage shield is so effective against our damage method. So here I'm just trying to stall another turn for Galder shield to run out. We can I threw out the Barbaros here. We have two Gunners that cost 0 in the deck, so I don't necessarily need this Barbaros anymore, so I'm just using it to reduce the damage that's coming to my face by trading. And then just trying to find the rest of the Gunners. And of course you just heal to keep yourself healthy, right? We're trying to draw, trying to find the Gunners. And I didn't play that because there was nothing to play it against really. And here comes Galder round 2, which is obviously very scary for us since we don't have another Barbaros to destroy it with. Thankfully they filled in their board for us, and now they actually don't have the ability to kill us, and they have no board space to play another Galder, so I can just go for the board lock here, which is what I do. Just keep myself at full, and then if you look at my opponent's board, you will see that they have exactly 19 damage on board, which is not enough to kill us. Which means that as long as they don't have like forged weaponry or anything, they can't kill us, and then they pass the turn because they know they're dead. And then we can just finish them. And that's a bit of an unusual way of how this deck works. Usually you kill them on turn 6 or 7. Doesn't always go out that way. Anyway, this is the first game, and I'll move on to the next one. So this next match takes place on the copyright stage, which is why there's I have to add my own music again. Anyway, we are playing against Blood here. We don't know what kind of Blood they are yet. Could be Handless, could be Wrath. I think both are about equally as popular right now. But we are going first, so we are a bit more resistant to aggro, hopefully. And there comes the Briar Vampire, so we know it's Handless now. Against Handless, you try to avoid playing followers for them to trade into, which is why I went for Haggler's Gambit there over Gunner. Worth noting, I would have played Gunner if I didn't draw a better play there. Unfortunately, we don't have a way to guaranteed clear the Skull Freedom Raider. We just kind of have to hope the Gunner hits it, which it doesn't, so I just trade it and let the Gunner live. I mean the Skull Freedom Raider live. And here comes the Maron. Important thing to know about Maron, of course, she can't go face if you're not in Vengeance when you play her. So here I can just ignore the Maron and just focus on the other two followers while trying to find my Rogers. Yeah, it's looking a bit risky, but luckily I managed to draw Rogers here and we are set for our combo. So I just trade off to reduce the damage to my face, leave the Maron alive since it can't do anything. And they have Showdown Demon here, which means they have managed to empty their hand, so Paracelese is coming. But thankfully we have two Glistering Angels in hand. Will help us delay that, so we just focus on staying alive and playing loots here. I just heal myself. Just heal myself again. Then you just clear their followers and just play Glistering Angel here just to delay them. As long as we can delay them long enough, we should be able to finish the game. So that's the idea with this. And that's the room service, which is what we were playing around in the early game, which is why we didn't play any followers early on. And then they pulled the Seductress Vampire here, so which means that they are in vengeance, which makes the game much more scary for us from this point onward. So here I'm just trying to draw more cards. And there's another Glistering Angel, so we can definitely delay the Paracelese into like the next century. Which is what I'm gonna do, so let's play Glistering Angel and just get rid of that Bright Vampire and just pray that I don't die to whatever they top deck. And there's Eternal Contract, and then we just drew Paracelese here apparently. And he had to play the Gift for Blood King, which luckily for us actually gives us the lethal. As you can see, they leave it alive, and even though I haven't fused anything to Barbaros, I am at 7 loot, and if you know the Barbaros combo from rotation, you know that this is lethal. So away we go, and just finish them off cleanly with a 16 damage OTK. We'll move on to the next game. And for this last match, we're going first again against Shadow. We are back on non-copyright territory, so the game music is back now. Anyway, just look for our sword followers here. And again with just like with Blood, we don't know what kind of shadow this is. It could be Atomy, it could be Barrow, right? Silent God of the Tempest is like 99% chances Atomy. So, well, we just look for our followers, and ideally we try to find the Planetary Fissure, I think. Planetary Fissure. And that's the Abyssal Kernel, which is like guaranteed this is Atomy now. Once again, you can just play your one Tidal Gunner without any worries, just like this. And I guess they're just looking for their cards, and we are also looking for our cards, so pretty normal, slow early game, I guess. We are chipping quite a bit of damage here on them, but they have a lot of healing from their followers that summon on their Atomy turn. Here I'm just trying to draw more cards because I'm not seeing a way forward with this hand, which is why I dramatic retreat on the Tidal Gunner, and it will come in handy later when we try to OTK them, right? And so it's time for Rogers, as usual. Here I have the Grand Acquisition in my hand, which, if you don't know, enhance 6 to generate 4 loots for 0 PP, which is why here I intentionally get rid of my own Deep Sea Scout, sorry, and trying to leave and then keep my hand empty so that I can actually just open the Grand Acquisition next turn with enough hand space. And then you see here they do have their Atomy, but we have managed to draw Planetary Fissure, so we're not too worried about that. Just take some damage here, which we can heal off with Ultimate Hollow, sorry. So it just feels off enough to get 7. I'm keeping the Goblet and the Necklace just in case they come in handy later on for lethals. The other two not so much useful, so I just throw them away. No reason to evolve or not evolve here, I'm just doing it just because. And go ahead and toss Barbaros back in the deck. We don't have lethal here with her, so we just wait. A bit problematic this turn is that we haven't found a way to draw our second gunner yet, which might cause some problems if they come back with their second Atomy bot too early. As you can see, it's not quite lethal here, but thankfully we draw Deep Sea Scout, which is it is lethal with Deep Sea Scout with 3 flags, so oh sorry, 4 flags, because I have Barbaros in my hand as well to get another flag. So we just managed to finish them off here like this. And that's the end of this game. So it has occurred to me that I didn't actually have a game to show you of me pulling off the 6 PP OTK combo, so I thought I would add this little bit to just show you how it looks like. This is against the bot, it's not a real person, so that I can take my time to talk about it, as well as just keep resetting until I set it up properly. So you'll notice here that my Barbaros cost 3 instead of 4, and this is because I got it discounted. There's 2 ways to discount Barbaros in this deck. First is Haggler's Gambit, where if you draw Barbaros with Haggler's Gambit, she will get discounted. And also the other option is with King's Welcome, which is a Commander Search card, where if you have more PP than your opponent, EPs, or when you have more evil points than your opponent, it will discount the card it draws by 1. And that's why Barbaros is at 3 right now. And this is going to be important for something which I will show later, but for now let's just play the combo, and then I'll show you what I want to say after that. So you start with Barbaros, right? And then you toss her back into the deck with Dramatic Retreat. And then if you don't draw Barbaros off Dramatic Retreat, like I didn't here, you will need to play a tutor spell to draw her, like King's Welcome for example here, or any of the other 1 PP tutor spells, which is important, a lot of important points here. Number 1, with non-specific tutors, like cards that don't specifically draw a commander like King's Welcome here, you will need to keep track of how many sword follows there are in your deck to make sure that you actually draw Barbaros. For example, sending the troops might not draw Barbaros if you have 2 other different sword followers in your deck. So just keep that in mind when you are doing this. Second thing is that the 6 PP combo is usually designed around being able to tutor Barbaros, being able to draw Barbaros off Dramatic Retreat, and the PP count is exactly at that point, which means that if you don't manage to draw Barbaros off Dramatic Retreat, you need a way to draw Barbaros for 0 PP. Or as you can see in this case, the alternative is to have Barbaros cost 1 less PP. So just keep it in mind that if you're trying to OTK on turn 6, you need to either draw Barbaros off Dramatic Retreat, like just straight up, or you need to either have your Barbaros discounted at the start, not the second time you draw her, because the second time she's already cost 0, you can't discount that. So you need to have either Barbaros discounted at the start of your combo, or you need a way to search for 0 PP, and the only way to do that is actually, well, there's 2 ways to do that. First is to discount one of the tutor spells using Haggler's Gambit early on, and the other one is with Sunny Day Encounters, which is a swordcraft search spell that refunds a PP at rally 7. So here you can see if I play King's Welcome, I will draw the Barbaros, right? And then another point to take note here is, of course, Barbaros recovers 3 PP, but here I only spend 4, so I should spend more PP before I play Barbaros to make sure I can have enough space, spend play points to recover the full 3. And then just play Title Gunner, and then you have the usual 4 flag OTK with Rogers. Be able to play it all. So I'll stop at 3 flags here just to appreciate. As you can see, I have 1 PP left for the 1 flag, right? And that was because Barbaros was discounted earlier. So if Barbaros wasn't discounted, I will be 1 PP off from playing the flag here, which is why you need to, as I mentioned before, draw her off Dramatic Retreat directly, or tutor her for 0 PP with a discounted spell or with Sunny Day Encounters, or you have the discounted Barbaros. And yeah, that's how the OTK works at turn 7. Of course, if your opponent's lower, you don't have to work this hard. Anyway, that's it for this bit. So that brings me to the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something today if you're interested in playing this deck. If you're coming in from rotation, maybe it'll look appealing to you since There's a lot of loot cards if you're a fan of loot. If you're not, then I guess you don't play, it's up to you. I will be upfront here and tell you that this deck isn't that strong. There are a lot of much stronger decks in Unlimited, and this deck can sometimes lose to it. For example, you just straight up lose to Control Dirt if your opponent knows what they're doing, so you have to pray you don't run into that anyway. But it's a fun deck, and of course if you want to select your Barbaros skin card, you can run the one copy in here. If you like Barbaros, just run the deck. It's pretty fun. It can win you enough to probably get to Group A in the Grand Prix if that's what you care about. Of course, you're free to make your own adjustments to the numbers in the list if you don't like them. And that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful. And yeah, see you in the next one. Bye bye.